Dear viewers, welcome to the weekly roundup. Thanks for joining. I'm making an episode every week, so if you enjoy this, subscribe. Let's dive in. Starting with reveals and announcement, and a small note, it was April Fool's Day, that's today, and I've tried to omit most of the ridiculous posts that are clearly a joke, but some of this news might still not be true. I watched the entire Future Game Show last week. First thing I noticed is how fun and engaging a game show can be with actual actors presenting. It was really well put together, and the games were interesting too. I'm going to cherry pick a few titles here in reveals and announcements, and maybe some more in following weeks, if the week is light on content. For example, what about Sengoku Dynasty, an epic adventure in feudal Japan where you build your own village in a beautiful oceanside valley, protect your settlements from the dangers of war-torn Japan, and rise from a simple peasant to man of legend. You, as the protagonist, can take multiple paths to victory, from becoming an inspiring leader to an excellent craftsman. The game features solo and co-op, sandbox and story mode, an open world, which is a little strange in a game like this, but okay, historically accurate events made in collaboration with Japanese historians, deep crafting and building and village and family management. Quite a lot. Maybe too much, but time will tell. I was mostly intrigued by the trailer and a village builder in Japan. That is just not something we see too often in the West, so I'm curious to see how this pans out. Steam is currently hosting an event as well. This is the SimFest Hobby Edition, and it focuses on games that attempt to simulate a hobby or job. Everything from the experience of fixing up old cars or pressure washing a sidewalk to brewing beers and everything in between. These events are good opportunities to play a demo and check out some new games. The Wandering Village, related to the hobby of riding massive dinosaurs, a hobby many of us have, no doubt, is among the participants, and they got a playable demo. I played that demo and it's great fun. This is gonna be a good game for sure, and there's plenty of others I'm sure as well. The event runs until April 4th. Oaken, a tactical turn-based roguelike set in a mythical place, will release into early access on May 3rd. This is a game published by Goblins, and these guys have a reputation for putting out fun tactical indie games. I've played several of their titles like Banners of Ruin, Legend of Keepers, and their latest one, Hero's Hour, which is an overnight success. They know what they're doing, and that alone makes me excited for this title. It looks cute too, which is a big plus. From one strategy to another, because Songs of Conquest, a turn-based strategy adventure game that fuses RPG, tactical combat, and kingdom management, announced their early access release date, May 10th, 2022. This pixel art game has been in development for 5 years already, and early access should give the devs the final chords of this song to tie this whole strategic melody together. It is published by Coffee Stain, a company with an eye for quality, because they published games like indie gem A Story About My Uncle, yes, I actually played that, Deep Rock Galactic, and a small game that you may have heard of called Valheim. These people know what they're taking on, which makes me even more excited about Songs of Conquest. Spacepunks announced that they're going into open beta on April 20th this year. Until now, only a select number of people got to play the game, which you either had to buy or be a content creator for. I got in too, I played it, and I didn't think it was that good, honestly. I haven't played much since, but it is just a game with very little content and an uninteresting gameplay loop last time I checked. Once it launches into open beta, it's going to be free to play, which is going to raise concerns for monetization of course, but we'll tackle that issue once we get there. I think it is still only available on the Epic Game Store as well. I got an email from William R. Fisher III, an indie game dev and owner of WRF Studio, asking me to cover his game, Earth's Shadow. If you are an indie dev and you're making a game that is fun, send me an email, and if I think it's fun too, I'll cover it. Like this one, a looter shooter. Earth's Shadow is a third-person action sci-fi dungeon crawler set in the year 3081 on planet Sombra, a remote alien planet where legends of valuable relics surround this black world, calling to the greedy and brave explorers seeking a brighter future, but they end up uncovering an even darker past. I played it for a bit, you can see some footage here, alpha footage, be wary of that, and sure, I think considering that this is a solo dev project, it is fun enough if you like that sort of thing. I'm sure this won't break the bank in terms of euros either, but this is really a game that you should buy if you tend to enjoy solo dev projects or you want to support devs like this, which I feel is a good cause. If you completely disregard how this game was made and you're just looking for the best place to spend your 10 to 15 euros, Earth's Shadow might not be the game. I enjoyed my small time playing it in a pre-release version for what it's worth. May 12th is the full release on Steam. Proceeding with the Patch Plaza, bringing an overview of patch news, Vampire Survivors released their bi-weekly patch featuring the Mad Forest Coffin, 3 new weapons, 1 new unlockable power-up, 1 new music track and 5 achievements. Good stuff. A much beefier patch comes from Anvil because they launched Season 1, including the trailer that you're currently watching. Good news, you might think, but the community seems to disagree. They're claiming it is pay to win, and I have this game installed, right? I played it quite a bit, so I logged into the game to investigate the matter. And indeed, the devs have introduced a paid season pass while still being in early access. And that is not all, because what does this pass provide? Well, first of all, a rather powerful toy, which is like a pet or a companion, and it gives you constant bonuses. More than that, by completing the battle pass, you unlock rewards that non-paying gamers don't get. And some of those rewards are absolutely bonkers. At level 50, for example, you unlock a relic that gives you immunity to ailments. That is probably the strongest defensive item in the game. It is completely insane, and you can only get it by paying for Premium Pass. Or another relic, infinite ammunition. In a twin-stick shooter, ladies and gents. So if your definition of pay to win is that you can pay real money for a significant advantage or for significant progression, which is a very common definition of pay to win, then yes, this is absolutely pay to win. And it's a real freaking shame, because not only is Anvil in early access and battle passes like this have no place at this stage of development, also it is a game with some really smooth and refreshing mechanics, fun playstyle and well implemented ideas. It is unfortunate that the Korean stereotype of pay to win once again emerges in a Korean game, and I really wish this was just a game where you could progress your character by playing the game instead of buying a season pass and then get the most OP items in the game from that pass. A pass that in the cheapest version costs 8 euros and that you still need to grind out 100 levels to complete the whole thing, or you pay 21 euros, same price as the game itself by the way, and you can skip the first 20 levels of the battle pass, making the grind less tedious, as well as receive arguably the best pet in the game. So you can even pay to skip parts of the pass itself. A true classic. Needless to say, the game is currently getting review bombed on Steam, and in this case that is completely justified. Then releases. Looking back quickly at what released last week, starting with Ghostwire Tokyo, that despite middling reviews is doing well on Steam with an 82% user rating. Ikai, the Japanese folklore horror game, sits at 72% at the time of writing, which is respectable for a niche title of $12. Wigmund left early access, already did a few hotfixes, and it sits at 67% mixed reviews. The game is only 10 euros though. Weird West launched as well. This spooky western is sitting at 90% user rating and it costs 40 euros. And finally, Midnight Ghost Hunt launched in early access, a ghost hunting multiplayer game that I missed last week because it wasn't announced yet. You can get into early access for an acceptable $20, and this game sits at a respectable 86% user score. Let's look ahead what is releasing this week. It's not a whole lot. There's Chinatown Detective Agency, a cyber-noir point-and-click adventure blending stunning retro design with innovative mechanics. Play as Amira Dharma, an ex-cop who has just opened up her own agency. Choose your clients, travel around the world and solve dangerous cases using real-world research. I love the look and art style, and by just looking at this I'm sure you can tell if this is for you. I wouldn't expect this to be crazy expensive either. And then there is Forgive Me Father, another retro game, but this one goes back to the era of Doom. Imagine taking Confession after this carnage. This is the stuff that gets you demonetized, but fortunately I can't get demonetized because I don't have enough subs to run ads. So you know what to do, right? Don't sub so you don't get ads. Or at least not from me. If you do get ads, please sub so I can get some of that ad revenue. Or to make me feel warm and fuzzy inside, right? Like the guy killing off all demons and whatnot. Not gonna lie, Forgive Me Father looks amazing, and this could be a great title to blow off some steam and some heads. Time for some personal updates. What have I been up to? Well, last epoch mostly. Applying the focus back to the main channel and making more specific content is certainly paying off, so that was a good decision for sure. And I knew it would be, I just didn't want to do it for some reason. I'm trying to advertise this channel as well on the main channel, but I don't mind it too much if this channel doesn't pop off or something. That's fine. I'll just make my indie content here for the fans and focus more on growth with Dieworm. Still though, I appreciate all the suggestions questions, so please keep them coming. I'm also pretty much completely recovered from Corona, so that's great too. And that's it. If you have any questions or remarks, put them in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did and you want more like this, consider liking the video or even subscribing. Thanks for watching and for making it to the end. I love you all. See you soon. Bye bye.